Good morning, everybody. We are going to be working on finishing up this mower. I think this is episode 3, maybe 4 of Saving Francis. That is what I'm dealing with next. And this, see that? See, that should spin easily. That one's not too bad, so I'm going to clean and lubricate these wheels. I think these are going to be the modern ones that have the steel sleeve on the inside instead of just plastic. And sometimes they get rusted and everything, but they're slower to wear out, which is good. And other things I'll be working on that you can tune in and find out about. I'll be working on this snapper mower that is in pieces that I got for free. Missing the cap on the gas tank, missing the cover, and the handle's all messed up and broken. So I may not be able to save this mower on this deck. I may have to do something else with it. I got that for free. I paid $15 for this pressure washer, which does run, but like about 80% of them you find the pump is bad because someone left it outside and it froze and broke the pump. But you can turn these into really solid push mowers, and so that's probably what I'll do with that one. That one's going to be fun. But let's go back to Francis. This is the one we've been working on, and see if we can get this blade off and get all that trash off the crankshaft. So let's do that. All right, so here we go. When the last thing I was working on was was turning this back into a self-priming carburetor, and that's looking good. That was finished yesterday, so that's what this was originally, was a self-priming carburetor system. Now to get this blade off, I'm going to put a block of wood over here with a C-clamp. I also have one of the commercial blade blocks you can get from Lowe's, but actually after using it a few times I prefer my own. So let's get that on there. And this is what it looks like. It's a little spring on here to help it grab the side of the deck. You see that? So that kind of grabs it like that. Doesn't always stay, but at least it helps you hold it in position pretty easily. Let me increase that a little bit. Let's see, this blade's going to be coming this way to unscrew it, so I actually want to put the C-clamp on the top. So I want it to hit the wood, not the metal. And you don't have to worry about this thing sliding or moving out of the way. When you turn this around, you think, well, how's that C-clamp going to hold it? Why won't it just move? Well, this is because of leverage. There's going to be so much leverage created by the distance between this and the screw that all the force is going to go there. There's going to be very little going here because of this leverage here. Okay, so the other thing about these screws, I don't like to use an impact wrench on these because the blade bolts, especially these modern ones, it's not very deep at all because they don't want that screw head to be sticking down so much it's hitting the lawn. So it's sort of up inside the blade, and you don't have much to grab. So what I'm going to do is get first I'm going to hit it with a metal brush a few times, piece of string is really in the way. At least get that out of the way. So I'm going to get a impact wrench socket, but then I'm going to use my breaker bar, and this socket I believe is this one. No, that ain't that one, it's the other one. Let's see. Where are you? There it is. All right, this is the 5/8 socket. Nice and snug, see? That's on there good. And then get my big old breaker bar. I'm going to put this on there now. See the size of that again. Leverage is your friend. Okay, now when I pull up on this, you got leverage helping me on both ends. I got this big old breaker bar at Harbor Freight. It wasn't too expensive. As much as I use it, it was worth every penny. Okay, so there we go. Now I can speed remove that using my electric drill. And this is a 1/4 inch with a I think it's about a 1/2 inch adapter on the end that will hook up to this impact socket. Now I can get this out pretty quickly. I got the wrong one. There we go. It's moving so easy, didn't even have to engage it everything. Okay. And the blade adapter looks good. Isn't all chewed up like you see on some of these. May have to hit this a couple of times to get it to come on. Look at this blade just with my eyes and see if I think it's bent. And it looks like that it's okay. So this blade may be all right. Let me put her on a flat surface. And yeah, I think this blade's all right. See what you're checking for here is you put it on a flat surface, and you don't want it tilted this way too much or that way too much. You get it where it's sort of equidistant and the tips of the blade are touching the table, and then you look and see if the lift is the same there and there. If it is, then that blade hadn't been hit and twisted. So this blade looks pretty good. All right, so we got that off. Now we get to take all this collection of horrible string and stuff, and some of this will probably just unwind. You're going to come this way to get it off, but it's not coming off real easy. So what I like to do is get a box cutter. You want to be careful that you don't go up and bump into that main seal with the end of this box cutter. So I'm going to put it real close to the middle, and then come down and try to cut through some of this stuff. And that sharp box cutter, see, is cutting through it pretty easily. That may have really helped a lot. See it's starting to come off. So to get this stuff off, I think quickest you go ahead and take your blade off instead of trying to do this with the blade on, especially when you've got this much built up around there. And use the box cutter again. cut through some of that stuff. And that is some stiff plastic there. They're making good progress. I'm getting pretty close. I'm going to switch to a little pocket knife here. I need to be able to get in a little further. Now I'm going to get under this stuff too with this pocket knife. Now I'll try the box cutter. And again, you want to make sure you're not hitting that main seal with the tip of that box cutter. This stuff's coming off pretty good. Almost got all of it off. That's some thick stuff there. That, my friends, I believe is metal wire. That will tear up your main seal if you leave that on there for very long. All right. Okay, got that. All that stuff off of there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and see. I always like to see if I can get the adapter off, in case I can't get this mower running or something. I want to save that, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit that with some JB Blaster around the top edges and right up in there, a little bit, not too much. And now I'm going to tap on this with a hammer, and sometimes that's enough. Now I don't have to do this on this mower. I could probably put the blade back on there and continue testing it, but I just want to see if it's going to come off. And if it doesn't come off easily, I think it may be moving. Looks like a very small amounts. Let's see if it moves by hand at all. Nope. I think it's moving. Now the nubs that hold the blade on are 100% worn off. So the only thing holding this blade on to keep it from spinning is what they call the little bow tie right here in the middle. I'm going to tap it towards the mower now. And see if that helps break it up. Now I think what I'll do is go ahead and use one of my blade screws here that I've put a little dimple in. I wish it was a little more dead center, but I'm going to put that in there, and then I'm going to screw this in several turns, and then get my gear puller. Use a little one today. I don't think they'll require one of the big ones. So that's why I drilled that little dimple there, so because that cone-shaped punch tends, wobbles around. So you want to try to get it to where it's pretty much dead center. Going to have to pull this out a few turns to get it to where it's going to go on. make a compromise between how many turns I've got on the that may be enough for it to come off now. Let's try it. I'm going to get a big crescent wrench and begin to twist this in, and hopefully this adapter will start to come off. Again, I don't have to do this, but I like to do it if I can, in case I need this adapter for something else, or somewhere in the future somebody needs to work on this, they'll be able to get this adapter off. I think you may be able to see that the adapter is coming off, but it's going towards that screw, and some of them are really tough to get off, but this one's coming off pretty easily. It also allows me to check the adapter and make sure it's not broken. And it is okay. See the little key in there? So it's all right. And now I can really clean around here and get my pocket knife and get the big stuff off. Again, be careful with knives and stuff. Sharp edges around that main seal. That little rubber seal there. Be careful. Damage that. Then you got an oil leak, and it's not going to quit once it starts unless you replace that seal, and that's not always an easy thing to do. And here I'm just getting off the big stuff. Okay, I'm going to get me a strip of sandpaper and go around this thing now. Oops. Okay. Now I'm also going to take my pocket knife and go up this key slot, and if there's debris in there, I'm going to get that out with the point of that knife. Okay, now let's see how easily this thing goes back on. That's pretty good, pretty good. Let me go a little bit more with the sandpaper. And then on with my knife around the inside of this adapter too, and get the loose stuff out, which is also making this thing not fit, or not slide on and off like it should. You want it to fit, but not be too difficult to get off if you need to change out a broken adapter or something. There we go. So you take this key and line it up with that slot. That's great. Okay, so that's enough there. We got the blade off and got all that stuff cleaned off.